Welcome back. In the previous part, we did some more investigating, which is leading us to the police department. So, let's head there. February 24th. Police department. Entrance. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things would turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera, sera. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Probably his flask. Must be his pet cactus. Ah, yeah, could be. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like we won't be getting a steak lunch today. Well, no you won't. Maybe some spinach. A dark trial. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? There was a fish involved in the case. Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean the switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there is a good chance that the knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? Clearly they were. The case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SL9 incident left behind. Yes, indeed. Prosecutor, I want to say prospector. Prosecutor Marshall. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he? Your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of Prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. Oh, yeah? It's his brother. The day the SO9 incident took place. That wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transferal. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall, there was thunder. Can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. Scares. Scares. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Oh. The investigation led Damon Gant and his second-in-command, Lana Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. The case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentioned it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. On a secret. It all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you. When you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. Well, alright then. I guess we'll move inside. February 24th. Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. The place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. Seems the same to me. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Conference room? Conference room. Thanks? Well, he actually talked to us. But the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media and tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Yeah, right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Oh, I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. What? What? We were told, what? Why does he have an organ? There's the vase. I've noticed it in the picture. Right over there. You can see there's a vase right there. February 24th. I mean, I'm pointing, but you can't see where I'm pointing. But there's only one picture in this. You see what I mean. February 24th. Police Department, Chief's Office. Whoa. Where am I? In the Chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out the pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Buck. Or Botch. Yes, Botch. That's it. Little Miss Botch. What did that say? Jesus. I never could remember where C was. I think at the moment he's in class 7. Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. Put that paper he was reading in his desk. Righto, have you been swimming lately? No, I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too. What with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? There we go. There's the vase, look. That's a picture of Lana and Neil and me. This is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. The vase! Can't quite seem to put my finger on it though. The vase! And probably the suit of armor, but you know. Oh, here we go. Anyway, I like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case is long since over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Oh dear, oh dear. Looks like we aren't welcome. You think? Seems that case isn't over with yet after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office. So let's move back inside then. February 24th, Police Station Criminal Affairs Department. Hey pal. Detective Gumshoe. Are you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm just taking a breather. My feet hurt. I'm sitting so long? Actually, I'm serving everyone coffee. I mean, that sounds terrible. Fate worse than death. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No, why'd you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. Alright then, so let's talk to you. Edgeworth's crisis. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Oh, Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, and as you know, there's been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now, with this, are there really so many people who hate him? You know, in our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know for making enemies. You dick! Keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's get out for lunch again. Sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. Seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Okay. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. Seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Oh, did you find out anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl? Again, I'm still leading towards Marshall, Neil Marshall, being the one who actually was the murderer at this point. Me. Seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Oh, let's see, I think it had something to do with the murder weapon? Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory. Alright, so, oh, Doc's crimes. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. Businessman? What made him take to serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So, it was an accident? An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal. An animal? He killed a man that witnessed the accident. Then he killed a lady. Oh, yeah. He killed a lot of people connected to things. There we go. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. The crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily, Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. Last witness. AKA Emma. Poor Emma. Let's present you with stuff then. So we're told to present with the weapon. It's not that one. It's that one, isn't it? So, about this. Hey, is that? Has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, it suddenly disappeared from the locker. And was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it. I've come up with a new recipe. I don't remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. And what was it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again. I assume it's talk, then. Yes. This knife. It was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at. Plus, it had his fingerprints on it, too. But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. You take a good look at the knife. You'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Yep, well anyway. Take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. In someone's shoulder. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. He ate it. Why did he do that? It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet. Down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Yep, well, I don't know about that. It's like, Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but it does concern the Chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The Chief's out now, and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Any detective's ID can unlock the door. What? Really? If I let a civilian in there, charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust, but we have one, it's fine. Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. Don't plan on getting fired because of you. We have an ID, we're fine. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's. Oh, there we go. That won't work either. Ow! The data was deleted the day he died. Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance to get into that office. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. What? I don't know where to go. The only thing I can think of is try and find... Thingy. Edgeworth. Where would Edgeworth be? He's gonna be anywhere. February 24th, Prosecutor's Office. Underground parking lot. No one's here today. Not even Miss Starr. Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. We proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway on our case. Instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hang in there, Lana. Got to find all the answers by tomorrow. Right, so I was trying to move, actually, to the office. February 24th. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. Because, yeah, we're looking for Edgeworth, so this is where the only place I could think he'd be. There he is. Looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here? He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I have had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his feelings. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. Right, so let's talk to you first. Forged evidence. That's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can do to erase that fact. That's not your fault. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. The fact remains the same no matter what excuse. But the fact remains the same no matter what excuse I might have. That doesn't seem fair. Mr. Edgeworth. I take pride in my work. Yes, but you didn't have the right evidence. So tell me why. Why has it all come down to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Tomorrow's trial. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, now this one. Seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out of the trial. Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. But that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists. That is odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for the case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the subject or suspect guilty. That was really the only option on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture? Alright, so we've got to show him that then. Something seems strange about it. Alright, day of the crime first then. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered. You're participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? Hiccups. I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this? I was receiving rewards. Can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, there's a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to. That's right. Okay, so let's present... What was it again? Oh yeah, the picture. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes? The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind his design. A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. Okay. Maybe show the award then? So I want more details about that, so... You know, it wouldn't hurt if you put this up somewhere, like on a shelf. That has no meaning for me anymore. What do you mean, anymore? That's who I was last year. What good is it to dwell on the past? He's asking me? Why can't I just accept it graciously? Actually, something's been troubling me about this shield. Look, do you notice anything different? Yeah, the sword's gone. Different? Yeah, don't you remember? The other shield in the court record. I guess I'd better present the other shield. Does it want me to present the picture again, or is it just... it's leading me back around in a circle? Because at the moment what I want to do is examine that note there. I wonder what he was writing before. Come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is standing right there. He's sitting. Just distract him, I'll check it out. Hey, Edgeworth! Is that Detective Gumshoe out of the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground! Hold on. First let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. Didn't even look. What? Letter of... You're having trouble reading. I'll read it for you, though. It says, letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it was your fault. I know the path I walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. Can't forgive myself for what I've done. No one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. This letter is resignation. What if I use it for anything? Okay. Maybe talk about that? Oh, perfect. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second one means shield. Have you heard this story? Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, for Emma's sake? Very well. Bought that. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd, and he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Oh, it's this tale. Okay, cool. Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese warrior word for contradiction was born. Yeah, it's like unstoppable force versus immovable object. Yeah. I see, so the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to assume matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow, thanks Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. That's funny. That's so, then why have you only got the only given the shield? You have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Chief Gant. Alright, so I think we should end this part here. What we want to do is try and go back to the office then, but like, I don't know how we're going to get inside, but That's gonna be the aim, so we shall see you then. Ta-ta for now.